Hello coolness, it's Pablo here and welcome back to Barca Universal and welcome back to a really interesting discussion video on the channel to start the week actually. We've got a good one today. We're going to be discussing the future of Sergio Busquets and his position in Barcelona's first team and more specifically in Barcelona's starting lineup. Now, this trend, this topic, this discussion, it already came about actually on social media, on Twitter more specifically, as a hashtag went around and that hashtag read Busquets en el banquillo. Now that reads in English, Busquets on the bench, essentially, is the direct translation of it. Now that trend, that hashtag, if you like, it was made by Barcelona fans, and I think it's fair to say, look, it's caused quite the stir, quite the uproar, quite the debate, actually, around social media, around Barcelona fans. And there seems to be this war, really, on Twitter right now, you know, around Barcelona journalists, around Barcelona fans, with everyone having their own opinion on the topic. And essentially, everyone's been discussing and debating whether Busquets should be dropped to Barcelona's bench or whether he shouldn't. However, I think in and amongst this topic, it's given us some really interesting avenues, some really interesting topics to discuss around the world of Barcelona, amongst many other things. So I think this is a really interesting one. I'm really excited to hear what you guys have to say too. I'm going to give my thoughts. We're going to analyse the whole situation. So let's begin. So I wanted to start by saying in this video, I actually thought the hashtag was disrespectful. I still do. I think the movement was wrong, and I don't agree with it. I think, look, let me start by saying that I'm all for people having an opinion. Everyone is entitled to say what they want, especially about Barcelona's first team, and especially about who they think should be playing and who they shouldn't be. We're fans of the club, we all want the best, and that's fine. So look, if people want to say, you know what, I think Busquets, he's declining a bit, he's getting slower, he's losing more balls, I think we should be bringing him out of the first team, we should be giving more opportunities to Frenkie de Jong, to Nico Gonzalez, then fine. But that's not what this is, in my opinion. This has been, in my opinion, quite a strong and unnecessary attack against Busquets, against our captain, a trend, a movement, when now really we need to be united, guys, and that does not sit right with me. That's the fact of it, guys, against one of our most legendary, consistent, respectable players in Busquets. I cannot get my head around the fact that there are fans that think this is a good idea, basically. And I think a big question I would ask surrounding this topic is really, well, what fans think they were achieving by doing it? You know, whether they think that's going to suddenly make Xavi think, you know what, I'm going to hook Busquets out of the team. I've seen a few fans on Twitter say that they don't think he's good enough anymore. Let me just get him out. That's not going to work, guys. What do they honestly think is going to happen? Of course, that's not going to happen. And of course, it begs the question that, well, does Busquets actually deserve to be benched? Should he actually be taken out of the starting lineup or not? Because that's an interesting question too. In my opinion, no. He has made some sloppy mistakes leading to goals this season. You could even say that he's declining. And look, guys, like I say, I'm not actually against what some people were saying here. I actually agreed with quite a lot of the rational comments. There were some that were absurd that I can't repeat in the video. But others, people were just saying, you know what, Busquets is declining a bit. He's losing too many balls. And I actually think, for one, that Barcelona should be actively looking for new solutions in midfield, because I am a bit worried about what's going to happen when Busquets leaves, because I don't think right now anyone can fill his void. So that's fine. That's all reasonable and relevant topic discussion. That's all, you know, perfectly fine. That's good to have as Barcelona fans. But I cannot get my head around the fact that there are some people, not just some, a lot of people, who think it's okay to start a movement, a trend, quite a disrespectful one too, against our captain, against one of our most important, crucial players in the first team. At this time of the season, when we all need to be united, when we're in a tricky period, I don't agree with it one bit. And like I say, it goes back to the point of whether Busquets should actually be getting benched right now, because I just think right now he shouldn't be. I really do. I think, look, in midfield, like I said, I think Barcelona could look for alternative solutions. Okay, fine. But let's set it straight. Busquets is still performing at a very high level. I think in that pivot role for Barcelona and Spain, there's no one better in the world of football. It's that simple. And look, Busquets, in my opinion, he's probably been our best and most consistent midfielder this season. I really do think that. I think only Pablo would come close, and even he's been, you know, in and out of positions and whatnot. So I think, look, with the form of De Jong, with the injury to Pedri, the fact is I think Busquets has been a top performer for Barca this season. I really do. I think we've had a tough season, and I think he's done well. And then a very interesting point came up in amongst all of this discussion, and that was whether the Catalan media unfairly treat foreigners at Barcelona, and whether they in fact support the likes of Busquets, Roberto Piqué, Alba, you name it, all too much. Now, I think this is a really interesting topic, and I think someone could actually write quite a long and detailed article on this, in my opinion, because I think already on Twitter there was actually quite a divide with this sort of debate. I think we saw quite a few foreign Barcelona fans on Twitter saying that Busquets should be dropped, and then actually the Catalan press and a lot of people in Barcelona or Spain, certainly the journalists too, came out in defence of Busquets. I think that makes this even more relevant. It is a really interesting topic at the heart of Barcelona for a while now, I think. Of course, Barcelona are hugely close to Catalonia. It's hugely linked to the club. That's fine. That's brilliant. I like that. It's a sense of pride. We like that link. But I also think it is fair to say that perhaps some players like Roberto Piqué, Alba, Busquets, even Ricky Puig now are overprotected by the Spanish press. And you can say players like Dest, Frenkie de Jong, even ter Stegen this season, are actually quite heavily attacked when they perform badly. I think that is a case to make. I really do. I think, look, after a few bad performances from the likes of Dest, he's often, ostracised from the team. I think Sergio, has played not at the highest level for a few years now, and there never really are any articles about him in the press. I think that's a fair point to make. And certainly, look, the double standard could be there. I think it is something that is worth mentioning. However, in this topic around Busquets, I'm not sure how relevant it is, because in my opinion, Busquets hasn't, performed at an unbelievably poor level this season to warrant this sort of thing. Like I said, I think he's actually been our best and most consistent midfielder, and a movement, a trend, a hashtag against our captain at this point in the season. Like I say, I don't see how people think it's helpful. I don't see how people think it's respectable in any way or justified. And also a word from me, guys, I actually am the YouTuber for Barca Universal, and I know a lot of you guys who followed me for a while on the channel will know that. I don't run the whole account, I'm part of it. Barca Universal is a big thing, there's a lot of people working on it. I control the YouTube side of things. I'm not the leader, I'm not the founder of Barca Universal. Like I said, I'm the YouTuber for them. There are several people who work for Barca Universal, all good people. And I want to say I do not control the Twitter page. I don't control what's tweeted out there. I, like everyone else who works for us, has their own opinion. And when I tweeted my thoughts on my personal account about Busquets the other day, that was just my opinion. And I got some really interesting replies to that, honestly. So be careful on social media, guys. It's not always a nice place. I just wanted to clear that out, basically. I'm the YouTuber for Barca Universal. I'm a segment of it. And all of us who work for Barca Universal, we all have our own opinion. So my final thoughts, I think this is interesting to say. Look, let me start by saying again, everyone can have their own opinion. Everyone can say what they think should happen in Barcelona's first team, but there has to be respect to it. And I don't think the movement was respectable at all. I really don't. I stand by what I said before. I think this was the wrong thing to do. I think it was also not merited at all. And I don't think it has any use, actually, for Barcelona right now. So I disagree with the movement. Should Busquets be getting moved out of Barcelona's first team in the next 1-2 years? In my opinion, yes. And out of the starting lineup, I honestly think he should be. Right now, though, I don't think he should be benched. I think he's one of our best and most consistent midfielders. And like I say, I think some people just need to have a think sometimes before they do things and jump onto movements. What do you really think you're going to achieve by going along with a movement like this, a trend against our captain at this point in the season? I don't agree with it. I don't think it's the way to go about things. So please, guys, to finish off, let me know what you think. Do you want to see more discussion videos like this? I'm thinking about doing one on Dembélé too, because there are some really interesting topics around the club right now, actually. And I think Busquets is a relevant topic. It's an interesting one. A lot of people had a lot to say on it. I know I did. I know I got a lot of feedback from that too. So let's see what you guys have to say. I'm going to wrap up the video there. I hope I've given my full thoughts on the situation. I tried to, cover everything I wanted to say. So hopefully I have. And I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.